Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. Happy Monday, happy Mallard Monday. We're not doing a great deal today. We have the bulkhead for the boilerplate, etc. It looks like all we're doing is drilling some holes in it and adding a little bit of brass rod. So let's get on with it. Let's get building. Right, so this is what we have today. As I say, we've got the bulkhead looking just like that. And the only bit we're going to need from it is this and this square rod. This is 1.1, I think 1.1 millimeter or 1 millimeter square rod. That's all we're going to need. We did have these parts as well. We got various other bits of rod and various different diameters. But we're not going to need any of those today. So we're going to put those to one side and just concentrate on these. So, usual process, just clean up the parts. Although this is actually pretty clean. There's a bit of a lip just there, so I will just use some wet and dry just to get rid of that lip. But other than that, it looks pretty clean and it feels pretty good. So it doesn't need very much prep work. So we'll just give it a very light sanding on that bottom lip. And just make sure where it goes into the engine that it's all nice and smooth as well. This is a die cast part, and I'll see it's got some finer details on it that you can see. So we don't want to get rid of all that detail. And the very first thing I'm going to be doing, if I just use this brass rod as a pointer, is drilling out 6 holes. So we've got one here, 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 and here. And that is going to be a 1.2 millimeter hole. It's going to take a bit of this brass rod once we've done that, and they're just going to sit just in there. And these will be the washout plugs. So to do that, I am going to get my little Dremel and put a 1.2 millimeter bit in it, and then drill those holes out. Right, so I've got 4 of these done. So 2 here and 2 here. These ones on the side, I am matching the angle that they are. So I'm going in at about, I don't know, 45 degrees or something like that. Just so that when going in, it's not damaging any of the detail. And I'll see if you've tried going in at 90 degrees, you'd end up just drilling through this or breaking it. From the instructions, it does look like they do go in at an angle, so that's what I'm doing. So just got those 2 more to do. Right, so that's all 6 of those now drilled out. Now, I've said this before, when drilling into metal, it's a really good idea to just dip the tip of your drill bit into some oil. It'll just allow the drill bit to cut through the metal a little bit nicer, a little bit easier, and will certainly produce a lot less heat when drilling through. So now what we need to do, we need to get this square rod and we need to push it in, is have it just so that it's sat out protruding a little bit, and then we're going to file them off flat. It does say about cutting these down to 5 millimeters. I'm sure 5 mil is probably a little bit too much, but just there's no reason you couldn't just put them in and then cut them off like that, to be fair. And you can see how much that protrudes at the back there. So it really doesn't need to be as long as 5 mil. But once it's through, we just need to file these off flat, but we don't want to get rid of the rivet detail around the outside. So what I'm probably going to do is just push them through far enough to the flat and probably not even file them off. So I'm going to get those rods all put in there, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Right, so I've got 4 of these in now, and rather than cutting this to 5mm each time, what I've done, I've just been placing them through and gluing them in, and then using my side cutters just to cut off the end. Now in doing that, you can see that we have an angled part here. So rather than putting it through, file it off, and just grab the file here, file it to the point where it's square again, and then just push it through one of the holes. So rather than having to file it down square and potentially damaging any of the detail on this, it's now flat in there, and I just need to glue it, and then I'll just use my side cutters to cut it off. So just once the glue is set, I'll then just come in here and just snip it off, just like that. So you can see that's how it's looking on the inside. So just got the last one to do, and again just going to file the chamfer off that. A little bit of glue, I'll hold that in place. Just making sure to go all the way around the rod so that it seeps in nicely into that hole. So obviously now I need to just cut that off. I'll do that once the glue's hardened. But that is what it's looking like with all those washout plugs in place. The only other thing we need to do now is a lot more drilling. So we've got several holes up here, or several indents, and we've been given this little diagram. Just leave that there while that glue's setting. Shouldn't take long. So we've got some holes labelled B, which are going to be drilled out to 1.5mm, and we've got holes labelled C, which are going to be drilled out to 1.9mm. So this one here, so you've got a B, 2 C's, another B, another B, we've got 2 C's up here, and then we've got this one here that's also going to be a C. Let's just cut this rod off. And we have been asked to keep that safe because we're going to use it later on. Not in this issue, but in a future issue. So I'll put that in the bag, all labelled issue 11. And that will stay safe there. Right, so I'm going to change my drill bit. I'll do all the B holes first, which is 1.5. The reason I'm doing that is because I've done it before, I've done it in the past. If you end up drilling out the bigger hole first, you can almost guarantee you'll put it in the wrong place. If you drill out a 1.5mm hole first, the smaller hole, at least you can rectify that and drill up to the bigger hole. So yeah, top tip, use the smallest drill first, and then when you've got several holes to do in one go. Okay, so I've just done a bit of clear up on the work mat. Before I start drilling, what I've done, hopefully you can just about see that, I've just put some permanent marker on the holes that I'm going to drill. These are the ones marked B. These are 1.5mm holes. Just to make it a little bit clearer. I'm also dipping the drill bit into a bit of oil, and I'm going to start on a slow setting just to get the hole started. So that's those 4 done, and they're the 1.5mm. Now we just need to do the others, which will be 1.9 millimeters. And again, I'm just going to mark them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to drill out, and that's the 1.9 millimeters. So just going to switch a bit. Now I don't believe I need to go all the way through on that one, so I've just left it part way through. If I do need to drill it all the way through at some point in the future, I'm sure I can do that. But I'm sure all these are just going to be taking parts to build up this bulkhead. And that is all there is to do in this issue. So as I say, just drill some holes, put some brass rod in, and that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember to give me a big thumbs up. So, not a great deal to do, but I've had a little quick skip ahead, and next issue we are putting various parts on this, and I have checked. I do not need to drill out this hole all the way. It's just going to be taking the brake valve, I believe. So that'll be coming next week. So if you want to see that or anything else that goes on in the workshop, please do remember to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. Then you'll be notified when I release a new video. Until next time, I'll see you around. Cheers!